So there it is. Now that all that's cleared up, wow. Wow, 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 wow. All right, people, check this out, guys. So the topic of tonight is very clear. It's Joe Biden once again, and there's new developments. Wow. I didn't see this one coming. This one leaves a mark. You know, this one leaves a mark, man. George Clooney, he called out Joe Biden, man, in such a way that it's earth-shattering. I'm gonna go ahead and predict it now. Biden will not be the nominee. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. He ain't gonna make it. He ain't gonna make it. No, he ain't gonna make it. And I mean that sincerely too, guys. We okay over here, guys? Yeah, man. This is getting. What's up, Damon? What's up, Sep here? Help, Nicole Tony. What's up, Betsy? Check this out, guys. Look, I know that these people tend to stick together, but I don't know if people understand what we just witnessed, right? So let me just run to a clip real quick. I'll get into the commentary. The clip is self-explanatory where we are at. Welcome to the show. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get this thing cranking.
Separately, though, this White House is now dealing, President Biden himself, with another very critical, scathing op-ed about the political future of Joe Biden. It comes from the actor George Clooney, who writes in this op-ed, "I love Joe Biden, but we need a new nominee." Of course, he was a part of the huge fundraiser hosted just last month where Joe Biden arrived directly from the G7 taking place in Italy. Clooney says in part that the Joe Biden that he was with 3 weeks ago at that fundraiser was not the Joe Biden of 2010. He says not even the Joe Biden of 2020. He was the same man we all witnessed at the debate. In short, Clooney says this is about age, nothing more. He adds, we are not going to win in November with this president. And he worries on top of that that Democrats won't win the House and are going to lose the Senate as well. He touts, the very exciting Democratic bench in his words. Names like Wes Moore, Kamala Harris, Gretchen Whitmer, and Gavin Newsom, Andy Beshear, and J.B. Pritzker. He says, in his words, concluding it, Joe Biden is a hero. He saved democracy in 2020. We need him to do it again in 2024. No formal comment from the White House or the campaign on that. Of course, they push back on the idea. They note that Joe Biden has said that he is running. He is not getting out of this race right now. They have noted the public comments of other lawmakers speaking in support of Biden, saying that they have found him to be very energetic in their visits with him recently. But, Andrea, it is another very challenging moment, I think, for President Biden in his efforts to stem the push by some Democrats and leading donors to push him out of the race.
There it is, Johnson. There it is. There it is. That's pretty much where we are. The op-ed that George Clooney wrote goes pretty much in depth. And it's not a joke. It's serious. It is very much an indictment of Joe Biden. And it's not slanderous. It's not petty. It's just bam. Okay, so bear with me, guys. Let's do this. Let's see if we can get through a portion of this. Just the title by itself, George Clooney, I love. It's George Clooney. The title is, I love Biden, but we need a new nominee. I love Biden, but we need a new nominee. Now, it's an opinion piece that's in the New York Times. It starts off, I'm a lifelong Democrat. I make no apologies for that. I'm proud of what my party represents, of what it stands for. It's part of my participation in the democratic process and in support of my chosen candidate. I have led some of the biggest fundraisers in my party's history. Barack Obama in 2012, Hillary Clinton in 2016, Joe Biden in 2020. Last month, I co-hosted the single largest fundraiser supporting any Democratic candidate ever. It was for President Biden's reelection. I say all this to say, only to express how much I believe in this process and how profound I think this moment is. Then he goes on to say, I love Joe Biden as a senator, as a vice president, as a president. As a senator, huh? You mean Crime Bill Joe? Jim Crow Joe? That's your guy. He says, I consider him a friend and I believe in him, believe in his character, believe in his morals. Here we go again. In the last 4 years, he's won many of the battles he's faced. But the one battle he cannot win is the fight against time. None of us can. It's devastating to say it, but the Joe Biden I was with 3 weeks ago at the fundraiser was not the big effing deal Biden of 2010. He wasn't even the Joe Biden of 2020. He was the same man we all witnessed at the debate. Was he tired? Yes. A cold? Maybe. But our leaders need to stop telling us that 51 million people didn't see what we saw. We're also terrified by the prospect of a second Trump term that we're opted to ignore every warning sign. The George Stephanopoulos interview only reinforced what we saw the week before. As Democrats, we collectively hold our breath or turn down the volume whenever we see the president, whom we respect. Walk off Air Force One, or walk back to a mic to answer an unscripted question. Is it fair to point these things out? It has to be. This is about age, nothing more, but also nothing that can be reversed. We're not going to win in November with this president. On top of that, we won't win the House, and we're going to lose the Senate. This isn't only my opinion. This is the opinion of every senator and Congress member and governor who I've spoken with in private. Every single one, irrespective of what he or she is saying publicly. We love to talk about how the Republican Party has ceded all power and all of the traits that made it so formidable with Ronald Reagan and George H.W. Bush to a single person who seeks to hold on to his presidency. And yet most of our members of Congress are opting to wait and see if the dam breaks. But the dam has broken. We can't put our heads in the sand and pray for a miracle in November. No, we can put our heads in the sand and pray for a miracle come November, or we can speak the truth. Just like that guy, Tim Black. You should subscribe to him on YouTube. The guy is amazing. Become a Patreon. Give him money. Share his content. He didn't actually say that. I just threw that in. It's disingenuous at best to argue that Democrats have already spoken with their vote and therefore the nomination is already settled and done when we just received new and upsetting information. We all think Republicans should abandon their nominee now that he's been convicted of 34 felonies. That's nothing. Well, that's new and upsetting information as well. Top Democrats, Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, Nancy Pelosi, and senators, representatives, and other candidates who face losing in November need to ask this president to voluntarily step aside. And it keeps going, Johnson. I mean, it's got a couple more paragraphs. We're almost there, and you could say you heard the whole thing, right? All of the scary stories that were being told about what would happen next are simply not true. In all likelihood, the money in the Biden-Harris coffers could go to help elect the president, ticketed other Democrats. The new nominee would be left off ballots. The new nominee would not be left off ballots in Ohio. We Democrats have a very exciting bench. We don't anoint leaders or fall sway to a code of personality. We vote for a president. We can easily foresee a group of several strong Democrats stepping forward to stand and tell us why they're the best qualified to lead this country and take on some of the deeply concerning trends we're seeing from the revenge tour that Donald Trump calls a presidential campaign. Let's hear from Russ Moore, Kamala Harris, Gretchen Whitmer, and Gavin Newsom, and Andy Beshear and J.B. Pritzker, and others. Let's agree that the candidates not attack one another, but in the short time we have, focus on what will make this country soar. Then we could go into the Democratic Convention next month and figure it out. Would it be messy? Yeah. Democracy's messy. But would it enliven our party and wake up voters who, long before the June debate, had already checked out? It sure would. The short ramp to election day would be a benefit for us, not a danger. It would give us the chance to showcase the future without so much opposition, research, and negative campaigning that comes with this ridiculously long and expensive election season. This can be an exciting time for democracy, as we've just seen with the 200 or so French candidates who stepped aside and put their personal ambitions on hold to save their democracy from the far right. Joe Biden is a hero. He saved democracy in 2020. We need him to do it again in 2024. That was pretty good. That was pretty good there, George. Or should I say, Obama. Yeah, see, I believe that Obama had a hand in this. I don't think George does this without Obama. It's not a secret that Obama and George are like tight. A hell of a lot tighter than Obama is with Biden. Jesus. I mean, come on. So what I'm saying is, how can I put this in a way that my people will understand? Kool and the gang just started unplugging shit. Yeah. Kool and the gang started unplugging shit. Steve Harvey. Wrapping up the wires, Johnson. Come get this. Come get this amp. It's a wrap, Johnson. Yeah. George Clooney's helped every Democratic candidate for the last 20 years. He's been a chief major bankroller and campaigner and fundraiser for these guys. He helped Biden get elected in 2020. He just did a fundraiser for him when Biden brought in more money than any other presidential fundraiser on record. $30 million. It's hard to call that guy a hater. But they're finding ways to do it. They're finding ways to make a guy who helped put $30 million in your pocket 2 weeks ago be a straight up BI. A sellout. Yeah. Isn't that what they call him? A sellout? Yeah, because, I don't know, man. They tell us for, I don't know how many years they've been telling us that Trump is the most dangerous man that's ever lived in America. More dangerous than anything we've ever seen. More dangerous than white nationalists that shoot up churches and kill unsuspecting parishioners. More dangerous than, I don't know, terror cells that plot. More dangerous than fentanyl. More dangerous than, I don't know, all the ills of society rolled into one. Yes, Donald Trump is supposed to be so dangerous, guys, but at the end of the day, Biden don't care enough to step aside, even though the numbers are all against him, even though the dam is breaking. And now we got even the people that put the money in his pocket saying, hey, Joe, you need to pull it out. You need to pull out. They tried to talk to Nancy Pelosi about this and see what her opinion was. And the rumor is that Nancy Pelosi has suggested that Biden can reconsider his decision to stay in the presidential race, emphasizing that the final call is his to make. But, come on, Joe. Come on, Joe. Come on, Joe. She tickled him. She poked him in the tummy. Come on, Joe. Here she is running through the halls of Congress trying not to have to answer questions.
Believe that him waiting so long to make this decision could harm the party?
Any comments in the hallway about the fate of our nation. Okay?
Are you concerned whether or not he can win in November?
I think he can.
Do you believe he should run for re-election?
I'm not speaking English to you. I'm not going to be making any statements about any of that right now in the hallway.
Next to sit down should be Nancy Pelosi. I thought she was really going to sit down. She ain't sit down yet, man. Come on, Johnson. Jesus Christ. Pelosi's stance has been interpreted by some as a subtle indication that she might prefer Biden to reconsider his presidency or his candidacy. Although she has not explicitly endorsed or opposed his decision, it's like she's calling for it kind of way, in a spineless way, in a not direct, plausible deniability, rich white people way of saying, hey, you can't blame me way. What really was the writing on the wall, guys, was the billionaires was trying to get up out of there. Yeah, when the billionaires start pulling their money up, how you gonna win? So there's an article written by Forbes in Forbes magazine called Billionaires Bailing on Biden. The alliteration alone shows you how hardcore it is. Then it lists millionaires. Barry Diller, Christy Walton. Yeah, that Walton. Reed Hastings urged Biden to drop out. Yeah, man, see, they make you, these morons that the Shields, they make it seem like it's just people like me, and a couple other people in the media, like the independent media, that are calling for it. You know what I'm saying? They make it seem like it's a bunch of wackies online, influenced by Russians, and that hang out with Candace Owens or platform Candace Owens. Let me say that again. People that hang out with Candace Owens or platform Candace Owens, just to have conversations. Trying to get viewership. That's so embarrassing, Johnson. How you gonna let her come on your own channel and dog walk you? Back to this, guys. It's not looking good for Joe at all. The money's starting to dry up. And this is fresh money. They just gave you that money. They just gave you money, Johnson. Just for a little bit more clarity about this. Remember this event? For anybody who doesn't know, remember this? Anyway, can I get this bigger here? See, as funny as I want to make this, it's also not very funny at all, guys, because I want you all to remember that Joe been this way for a minute. Joe didn't just get this way overnight, okay? Joe, anybody knows, it takes time. It takes time for age. Age is not a sudden thing. None of us got old overnight, and none of us experienced these situations. Anybody in your family that you've loved, that you've seen this, go through this decline, it's just that. It's a decline. They had to see it. So what I'm trying to say to you is, hey, this has been a big-ass cover-up. The media has been a big-ass cover-up. Everybody who's been a part of this, everyone who knows Joe, everybody who's been working with Joe, everybody who's interviewed Joe, everybody who's sat with Joe, everybody who's been talking to Joe, everybody who's been coming out here talking this nonsense about how Joe was, you didn't see nothing, nothing happened. His own people are saying it's a wrap. He over. He won't win, and they just don't want to go down with the ship. See, these people are the actual people that I think believe that Trump is a threat. They actually believe it. Okay? They actually believe Biden cannot beat Trump. I believe that too. But these people really believe it. There are other people, it don't matter to them. Their whole purpose is to pick up the bag, pick up the money, stay in good graces. and hope for the best. They're the ones that have been involved in a cover-up to lie to us. They've been lying to us all this time. They've been omitting the truth. They've been deceiving us. And I'm talking about you people on MSNBC, Morning Joe. All these assholes, they all know. It's not a secret. They have to know. They sat with him. They talked with him. They knew. What did the guy say when he interviewed Joe? They were going to prosecute Joe Biden for lies or something. I forget what it was. It was the DOJ guy interviewed him, right? And the guy was like, I would indict him, but he's old. He couldn't even tell me when his son died. He couldn't even tell me when he was a senator. Like, he didn't know dates and times and places. That's what the guy wrote down. And when he published it and everybody read it, they all said he was there to spy, he was working for the Republicans, that everything he said was a lie. And they knew he was being honest. They knew it was true. It's hard to say that everybody's been lying about Biden, who's been critical of Biden, was a liar when his closest people, when the people that helped him raise money, people that helped put him in office, are coming out saying the same thing. Say, look, I was with the guy in 2008, in 2010, in 2020. That ain't the same guy. That guy's changed over the last 4 years. That ain't him. That guy's a shell of himself. What they want to do is they just want to slide in who they want. They want Biden to run without pulling him because, well, maybe he's going to take some people down with him. Maybe he's going to start firing people. You know, it's a fallacy that some of us don't think that people with money don't want to keep it. They do. And people with good jobs, they want to keep them too. They're not going like, hey man, I did real good. I made out. We rode until the wheels fell off. Now it's time to exit. Now they're like, let's hang in there a little bit longer. Let's see what happens. And none of them have the courage to stick their heads up and tell the truth. Mark Cuban of the Dallas Mavericks, he attended a fundraising event in March, told CNN last Saturday he wants to see polling to find out if there's any potential replacements who could outperform Trump in a hypothetical matchup. See, they're starting to look at the numbers. When they give money to the Democratic Party, they're not giving it just for Joe because they think Joe's a great guy. See, Joe is a narcissist. He's an egomaniac. All this stuff about him being a nice guy, BS. That's a facade. That's not who he is. Who he really is the guy who ran for president 3 times, who's been on a revenge quest himself ever since Hillary stepped over him for the nomination in 2016. So Joe don't want to let go of power. It's kind of pathetic. It's kind of pathetic, but I can say this, man. It's also a gift. This whole thing is a gift if you look at it like that. Look, you get to see who the real paid shills are. You know, because sometimes it's hard to tell who's getting that bag, who are the ones who are sold out. Just look around. Look around at the people that are still pushing Joe Biden right now. Those people are paid shills. That's all it could be, man. You saw the debate, the performance. Your eyes weren't lying. That guy didn't know what was going on. You look at the footage. You seen him fall off this, fall up that, do this, do that, look lost on stage. That all happened. You just saw the clip. He didn't even know to walk off. There's a problem. Now, if you're just somebody who wants to defeat Trump, you still don't make sense because it's telling you right there, he doesn't have the numbers to beat Trump. I think it's time to be real about this. See me? I just want the person that's going to do the best for us. I want whoever we can negotiate with to get what we want. The sooner we get rid of Biden out the way, because see, he ain't going to make it, so he ain't going to be able to give us nothing. We need to, whoever's going to replace him is who we need to barter with. That's who we need to negotiate with. And we need real negotiators too. We don't need Al Sharpton and Clyburn going, I'm riding with Biden. I'm riding with Biden. Like, this is a game. People's lives are on the line, and this guy's singing songs. He making it a funny. At the end of the day, man, this is serious business. And all I'm saying is, I don't much care who they get. Whoever it is better be ready to negotiate. I do not speak for Black America. I'm a Black American who's speaking up. That's all. Just like every other Black American has the opportunity to do the same thing. I built my platform from scratch by myself without the help of any of these networks. It ain't that big, but it ain't that small. And I'm going to use it to speak my piece. And hopefully, some of you who I agree with or who agree with me or who we have like opinions, you know what I'm saying? We can feel like we're speaking for each other. You get what I'm saying? We got to get something out of this. We need something for our vote. And what we don't need are sellouts who are just in it for themselves. They in it for themselves, man. Joe Biden's on his last leg. That's all it is. It is what it is. It's going to happen to us all. He's fortunate. He's 80-something years old. He's been a president, talking about shaking the world up. Whatever happened with going out when you're on top? He could go out on top without even losing an election. But now you got that hungry, power-hungry him and power-hungry wife. I don't know what it is. Arrogance. Arrogance. George Clooney wrote a damn good essay. I didn't look at it that way. This would shake things up dramatically. Just imagine the frenzy of picking new people and those people being in the debate. And all of a sudden, we got these crazy news cycles. And all of a sudden, Gretchen Whitmer's up there with Westmore, and Westmore's talking, and Kamala Harris gets to show us, was she holding back for the last 4 years? Is there really a Kamala that can really take this thing to the House? You know what I'm saying? And other people might come out from the woodwork. What the hell? Maybe you can open it all the way up. Let my guy Cornel West get on the debate stage so that you really respect democracy. Let Marianne Williamson come back in. Let her have a say. I interviewed her back in 2020. She's good people. Let her have a conversation with the world. You know what I'm saying? This could really reinvigorate, the whole electorate. And then we start asking questions like, what up with that black agenda? What's up with the black agenda? We can start voicing that. Hell, maybe with a push, maybe Tim Black could get in on that. I could say some things, I could get in and voice my opinion. Make them have to answer tough questions. That's all I'm saying, man. We can't just have the elites. We just can't have the academics, the black academics, who want jobs working for the Democratic Party. They can't be our voice. Look, man, working class people, working class white people and black people, we cannot depend on elite, Democrat-friendly people or people who are striving to become Democrat elite people, because they're not going to stand up for us. They're going to buckle and try to go within the system to secure something for themselves. Okay? Here goes a prime example. As I was preparing for the show tonight, right, I had this conversation, I ran across a clip of D.L. Hughley talking to TMZ. And this guy was so pissed. Oh, he was pissed. You would have thought someone stole his bike. Like someone kicked over his sandcastle. You would have thought he was in the race. Yeah, he was like, I'm offended. All types of corny, like not black guy from Compton or South Central or former Crip type talk. I was offended what they did. I didn't like the tone. You sound like a Karen. You sound like a Baron. A Karen. Or a Darren. What's a black Karen? A Darren? Check this out.
I really do. I find the whole tone of this insulting. I really do. I find it insulting for a couple of reasons. I watched a man get convicted of 34 felonies.
He sounds insulting. He finds it insulting. You know something, guys? When you here goes a message. Here goes a little tip to all my brothers out there. Never start a conversation by saying you find it insulting. Nah, man, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't. Yeah. That's not the way real people talk. Not people that we should take seriously. Not people that have real points to make. They don't say, I find it insulting. You know, because insulting, what does that even mean? That's just BS language, and you said it twice. That means, like I've always known, DL, you really don't have anything to say of importance, bro. You really don't. You and all the shields, I'm not even going to name anybody else. There's a lot of shields. You've all been exposed for who you are. You just mad that all that time you spent on the phone with Biden and Harris may go for nothing. You built, because what you did is you built an alliance with people that were in power, which gave you power. That's why every time people talk to you, no matter who you was talking to, you had to bring up the fact that you knew Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. So you're trying to preserve the thing that gives you power. That's your leverage. The problem with that deal is that we don't give a damn about them. And we also don't give a damn about your opinion of how great they are. All we care about is what they do for us. And when you say stuff like this, when you say this,
I watched the man get adjudicated for sexual battery. I watched the man who got convicted of fraud, and never have I heard this fervor from the media in general about his qualifications to be president.
They have been dogging Trump nonstop since 2015. The media has never stopped dogging Trump. What is this guy talking about? What he's saying basically is he doesn't want Biden to get criticized. There have been reports done about Trump. Like 95% of Trump's media coverage has been negative since he started running. He's the most negatively covered politician in the history of U.S. politics, D.L. Hughley. Now, on the Democratic side, Joe Biden is not. It would be somebody like Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders had 23 hit pieces in 24 hours or something crazy? All because it looked like he was going to beat Hillary? That's when all the hit pieces came in? You were quiet, though. See, the problem with D.L. Hughley is he doesn't really do homework. He doesn't really know this stuff. He's all emotion and no facts. We all know that Trump's got indicted 34 times. 34 felonies. I still find it funny that a guy who grew up a Crip keep talking about what somebody got as far as charges. Ain't everybody in your group, all your friends, like felons? And you know, the felony that Trump got is petty as hell. We all know that, right? You probably got some books that if someone looked a little closer at them, DL, there might be some discrepancies. You don't got no accounting errors in your bookkeeping with all that, with the kings of comedy or nothing. The career you built off the back of the late, great, really funny. You know what, man? I don't want to make it about you. I just want you to know that Bernie Mac, Cedric the Entertainer, them dudes is funnier than you. But that's not the point. That's not the point of this. It's just pathetic, man, that you would go on this type of tirade about us not being fair to Biden, man. Biden was not fair to all the kids when he made it so you couldn't remove your school debt, even in a bankruptcy. He wasn't fair to all the people that had student debt. He wasn't fair to all the kids who wanted to live and not go to wars that he signed off on. I mean, he did a lot of shit no one likes. The 3-strike laws and every other horrible piece of incarceration legislation that you could find, his fingers was on it. But you still cape for this guy. And now you behind Kamala, and that's really what the problem is, bro. It's not going to work. I'm sorry, DL. You can't ride these white folks to the promised land. You're going to have to make your own promised land. You used Bernie Mac to get where you are, and now you're looking to use Kamala to get a little further. And you did, and it worked for you. But it had to run out sometime. Can't win them all. So yeah, man, I find this right here. This is it. This is the end. This is the last wrap. I mean, the Democratic Party is going to have to make a decision, folks. They have to decide, were they really serious when they were saying that Donald Trump was a threat? And if so, what they going to do about it? Joe Biden's made it very clear. He don't care. He don't care if you lose. Even in the interview with Stephanopoulos is like, yo, what if it's the case that you cannot beat Trump? What if that's the case? How would you feel then, knowing you could have stepped aside? He said, well, as long as I gave him my best shot. And all this time, you guys been saying Trump was the end of democracy. And all he says is, I gave him my best shot. Yeah, that doesn't sound like it's, the end of the world is coming. If you think you're on the precipice of Armageddon, you might say more than, I could have stopped it, but, I couldn't stop it, so I gave him my best shot. Like, that's not the way. That's not like The Cabin in the Woods. Remember that movie, The Cabin in the Woods, when it's like the end of the world and shit? I don't know. Maybe there would have been funny dialogue for that movie. Or maybe the Last of Us, when it's basically the end of the world and it's like, it's not worth sacrificing baby girl. So let the world in. We'll be all right. Maybe it's time to start over. That's sort of like how DL sounds. It's like, hey, because to him, it's all about his pocketbook. And I wanted to be vivid. See, very seldom do we get an opportunity, guys, and I mean this. I've been doing this a while. And no matter what I feel about a person, nothing I say is going to really influence what other people think about it, because everybody makes up their own mind. But what really vindicates you is seeing it. They see it. Not only is this guy not offering the black community anything, talking about Biden, but he's now a shell of himself. He's now nearly a drooling imbecile. And I don't mean that, I don't mean it. He doesn't need to, being a president has to be a very stressful job. You know what I'm saying? He's almost 100. What did Cat Williams say? Come on, Joe. Oh, Joe. Oh, Joe. Leave Joe alone. Come on, Joe. Guy's 100. Leave him alone. He's 100 years old. But that's why that person says, get on in there, young guy. Let me coach from, the sidelines. Let me sit back. You throw the ball around. I'll watch. That's what the OG's got to do. He's a triple OG. Triple OG's got to fall back and let the G's play. But see, when people are narcissists, when the reality is, like I've been saying, he ain't such a nice guy. He's not the saintly Biden that people have been playing him up to be. He's not this godly-like figure. He's not this big-hearted softy. He's a greedy, power-hungry jackass. More concerned with himself than anyone else. And his wife, same thing. Same thing. Do you really think Michelle Obama would be pushing Barack to do this? Huh? Now, this is something we haven't talked about. I don't even know how we got here, but let's sit here for a minute. I remember looking at Michelle Obama and thinking, she really don't want none of this shit. Yeah, I remember looking at Michelle Obama, and yeah, she was saying things I didn't like money doesn't matter. Yeah, it's easy to say when you got a lot of it. But beyond that stuff, okay, because that's hypocritical stuff rich people say to make other rich people keep giving money. Okay, here's the deal. I never once felt like Michelle Obama would do some shit like Jill. I never felt like Michelle Obama would be pushing Barack to do this. In fact, I think it was the opposite. I think Michelle was like, we really don't want to put the kids through this. Why are we doing this to our kids? Why are we doing this? But see, Jill doesn't have kids this age. So maybe Jill's like living through her husband. And I bet he's been promising her this and promising her this and promising her this. And finally, she gets to be first lady. She's part of the problem. Part of the problem. She may be a bigger part of the problem than we know. I mean, come on, guys. Joe's a grown ass, very grown, overgrown, extremely older guy, like saying a sentence or two and they're looking at his wife for approval. Did I do it, Jill? Did I make it in the toilet this time? Did I do it? And I understand that's life, man. Maybe y'all be blessed enough to have a partner that goes through it with us. But what I'm saying is, when we go through it, if I go through it, if you go through it, if we go through it, will we be responsible for the world or just our house? Will we be responsible for the country or just a condo? Not even having to shovel the stairs anymore. You know what I'm saying? Well, I know what. I want to thank Joe Biden for this moment. I am very happy to be able to expose and see all the shields come out into the light like the vampires. When the lights come on, they come out and they all get burnt up. That's what you're seeing right now. All of them get burnt up. All of them are spontaneously combusting right before our eyes. That's what's happening. Because ain't no faking and denying this one, baby. This is the real deal, man. This is the real deal. Whoever this person is who takes his place, and I'm going to speak it. My wife always says, Tim Black, just speak it. Just speak it into existence. Okay, cool. I'm going to say it now. They're going to replace Joe Biden because now it's the money. You can do a lot of things. They don't care what I say. They don't care what you say. They don't care what none of us think. If they did, life would be a whole lot different in this country. Okay? They don't care what you and I think. But you know who they care about? The people with the money. And the people with the money care about things like stock prices tumbling. It's going to start to all crumble. The more it crumbles, my point is this. Whoever replaces Joe Biden, we need to have a conversation. I don't know who could be the people that step up. I'm throwing my hat in the ring, literally throwing my hat in the ring. We'll see who else is going to follow, who else is down. But remember, man, we cannot have compromised people who are willing to sell out for a box of biscuit mix. We cannot have sellouts who are willing to throw everyone under the bus. We should have some demands. We should articulate those demands and say, if you want the vote, this is what we're looking for. There are people that say, give me a job. Please give me a job. Please, please, please give me a job. I'll be quiet, sir, as long as you give me a job. Those are not the people that we need right now. We need people that are going to step up and say, hey, we got a list of demands, and here we go. It's either this or the couch. It's either this or the couch. That's the only problem I got with the people on the couch is make your demands. Don't say I'm on the couch. Say, it's this or the couch. So let's this one or the couch. Let's get something or the couch. Threaten the couch. Don't say I'm on the couch. Threaten to use the couch. We all know 40% of America don't vote anyway, but still. That's where I'm at, Johnson. Anybody out here got any opinions? Tim Black's Wolfpack, my people. Does it make sense? Does any of this make sense to y'all? Am I tripping? Are you feeling it? What's up? Jeffrey Anthony said, literally, they showed up and they gave them government jobs. People weren't mad no more. Exactly. That's what keeps happening. They come in with a hit of steam and they leave with a W-2. And quiet, smiling. All right. You know what I'm saying, Jeff? They showed up with their fist balled up, and they left with a company name tag and a job application. Fill this out later on tomorrow. You got the job. Get on out of here, boy. That's what I'm saying, fam. Damon, what's up, fam? I look for you, man. On point, T Black. That's right. Keep me on point, D. Keep me on point. We on the road, man. I just need to stay on the road, brother. Oh, goodness gracious. Check it out. Zob says all you're going to get are compromised people. It's politics. Everyone is compromised. I'm not compromised, bro. I'm not compromised. You're not compromised. You right here with me, Zob. And I've seen you around for a long time, Zob. You ain't compromised. I'm not talking about politicians. I'm saying we need to turn the page. We need to get rid of the Al Sharptons. We got to get rid of Al Sharpton. We got to get rid of all those types. There are others. Al Sharpton is not the only bad person or the only person that I call guilty of this, right? All of them that got comfortable. How you not going to get comfortable? 40 years of building a brand, of building a name, of getting money put in your pocket. Nah, man, it's time to change the guard. And none of them are going to walk away of their own volition. We got to help them walk away. We got to help them leave. We got to help them go. Like Joe. Joe ain't walking away. He been vice president, a senator, and a president. And he can barely count now, and he still won't walk away. He doesn't care what's riding on it. He doesn't care. They'll say whatever to scare the hell out of voters, but if they was really worried, if he was really worried, would he be still sitting there? When the zombies are coming over the cliff, you know what, people in wheelchairs running up trying to roll up on them? You know what I'm saying? Now you want the fighters to run up. You want the young guys with the run in them. You want the people that's built for that to run up there. Not you. If you're going to do anything, you're going to sit back, far distance, long distance, and pick them off from the safety of your wheelchair. That's how it's supposed to work. T says to follow the money. Follow the money, Johnson. That's what we got to do, follow the money. Hi, Joe. Eileen, I think it's Eileen. Eileen Dorsett says, what has Jill accomplished in the White House since becoming First Lady? I have no idea. I don't know. I have not seen much of her except to campaign for Joe. I don't know. Did she have any initiatives? Did she work on something? I don't know. I don't know what, You're right. I have no idea. Jill thought Biden was going to smash the debate with the media's help, and that Vogue cover was going to cement her. You're right. She did think that. I got an interview where she was talking much smack about what Joe was going to do. She went on The View, and man, she was bragging, Johnson. Man, where's that clip? DD, check this out, man. I know I got it here somewhere. She was talking major smack, Johnson. Oh, man. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Let me see if I got this. Nancy Pelosi, Roland Martin, Pusha, Joy Reid, Wes Moore. Oh, she getting off lucky, man. She's lucky I don't see it right now. Okay, I don't see it. She got lucky.
What a Democrat. What are they doing? I mean, How hard is it to stand by your man in the face of the assault that they know is coming and has come from Republicans, and just sort of rally around? What's your assessment of not only what you saw Thursday night, but the reaction afterwards? And how does that hurt their efforts going forward?
I mean, I think rallying around makes sense if this was just 90 bad minutes, as Anita Dunn was trying to tell you folks yesterday. That wasn't just 90 bad minutes. That was the worst debate anyone has ever seen that reveals some very deep-seated problems that they have. A candidate who is clearly not just, he didn't just walk into some rhetorical traps and just have a bad night. He showed what we have seen for a very long time. This is a person who has significant cognitive issues that they've been lying to us about for a very long time. And so if you want to, they want us to pat them on the back for saying that he had a rough night and then immediately pivot to telling us that this was no big deal. This was a big deal. And so I think it would be irresponsible to not take a minute. Everyone sees what we saw with our own eyes, what we've been thinking we've been seeing for a long time, and they've been telling us we haven't been seeing, and say, okay, let's reset. Is this realistic that we can have this person, A, beat Donald Trump, but also how is he going to perform in the job 2, 3, 4 years from now? I mean, talk about somebody who has to go in and have a, he couldn't handle this debate. The opening question, it wasn't even like they were in a heated back and forth.
It was
the opening question.
It was a very bad
This person's going to go sit down.
Yeah. And I'm surprised Simone Sanders said that very upfront, didn't she? But she jumped in and cut him off, though, and sent it over because she used to work for Joe. Yeah, man. Everybody not lying. Everybody not making it up. And what he pointed out at the very end there was so important, guys, because it ain't just about a debate. It's not even just about beating Trump. It should also be about if you beat Trump, then what? You still have the same problem you have now. Who's going to be president? Because it ain't going to be Joe Biden. And that's just not how things are supposed to work. If you can't do the job, you don't get the job if you can't do the job, just so that you to get the job and get a job to somebody else to hand it off. That ain't how shit's supposed to work. My thing is, if Kamala gets to be president, as much as some people wanted to be president because it checks a box or several boxes for several groups, Kamala has never demonstrated anything that will make me want to vote for her as president. Maybe she'll surprise you, but she ain't gonna surprise me because I've seen her in many facets. I met too many people that talk too much about what happened in California under Kamala. And the way they like to clean it up and make it seem nice, it wasn't nice. Nah, it wasn't nice. She ran to the right with law and order against the most progressive prosecutor, one of the most progressive prosecutors in the country. That's what she did. She used scare tactics and a lot of the other stuff. She sounded more like Trump. She sounded a lot like Trump when she was running. Law and order, we need to clean this place up. We got to get tough on crime. We got to lock people up. That was Kamala. Then when it was time to pretend to be progressive, that's what she did. And I guess that would work if you didn't have the ability to go back and see tape. Like I had the ability to go back and look at the content because that's my job. And I saw her mocking people that said, we need to build more schools. We need to educate our kids. And she was like, we need more jails. That's her words. So that ain't, I don't trust her. I don't trust her. I couldn't stop America from getting Biden. Maybe I can have a say, and if we get Kamala. I'm going to do my best to make the noise. That's it. That's all I got, guys. I love you guys. Real talk. Had a great time. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow to do the same deal. We'll look at the news and see what happens between now and tomorrow, and we'll be covering it. Remember, you can always submit article ideas, topics to tim@timberlighttv.com. I appreciate y'all. Remember, don't let nobody take your cornbread. And I'm not here to convince you of nothing. I'm not here to change your opinion. I'm just here to give you something to think about. You got to change your own minds. We are not mind control. We are not propaganda. We're just ideas, facts, and we have a conversation. We make our own minds up. We are free will. All right, guys. Number love for you. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for being here. Yo, Buck, thanks, Buck. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, Betsy. Thank you, Lawrence. Good night, Angry. Nigel, what's up, man? For sale. Thank you, Betsy Johnson. Lawrence. Hit the like button on the way out, guys. Peace.